Well, the purpose of today's video is the proper packaging and shipping of firearms. There's a lot of guys that have misconceptions about mailing firearms for repair. One of the first things I want to let you know is that you really don't have to go through a dealer to have a firearm sent to a manufacturer or repair facility such as ourselves. You can legally ship a gun through the mail directly to us for repair or back to a manufacturer. A lot of guys use dealers and FFLs to ship their guns for them to me and other repair facilities. And you can do that if you want, it's just not necessary. If you're going to package and ship your own firearm, you need to know there are a few things and precautions to use before you box that gun and send it through the mail. Now, as I say, you can legally mail through FedEx, UPS, Post Office. Those are all legal transactions for you to mail a firearm for repairs. Now, of course, you can't just mail a firearm through the mail legally to your brother-in-law that you're going to give him or the likes. Then you have to go through a dealer and have that gun transferred to him. But as far as repairs go, you can legally send those guns right directly to me or any manufacturer for repair, and we can legally return that right directly back to you. So, you guys that want to use dealers to ship your guns, you're certainly welcome to do that. It's an inconvenience sometimes, and they charge you to do that. So, to make life easy on yourself, you can just mail those guns directly to me or wherever you're sending them for repairs. Now, sometimes you'll run across a UPS store or a post office or someone, and they don't know the gun laws. That's pretty common. And they'll tell you that you can't legally send a gun through the mail for repairs. And sometimes I have UPS stores and FedEx operations call and ask me to send them an FFL, my federal firearm license, and that's okay, we do it. And then I've had some guys tell me that they just had some UPS stores and the likes just flat out refuse to ship their guns for them. They just don't know the gun laws, and they're all paranoid about shipping guns. I will say, if you run into a real hassle and you just don't want to ship your gun, just call me and I'll put a UPS call tag out for it. Now that means that UPS is going to show up at your door. I'm going to generate a label here on my end. UPS is going to show up at your door and pick up your gun. So that's another convenience that we offer. So anyway, if you're going to package your own gun and ship your own gun, I want to give you a few pointers. Here's a broken rifle stock. This is not real uncommon. UPS, FedEx, all of them break lots of these every year. Now, the reason they're breaking these stocks is because guys are mailing them in old boxes like this here. That's a real flimsy box. If you ship me a gun in that, hopefully it's going to get here in one piece. It probably will, but then again, if it's going to get broke, that's a good box to get your gun broken in. Get that over here out of the way. Long guns have a lot of leverage on them. When you get this long stock and you have a lot of barrels sticking out here, that box is going to flex in the middle if it's not properly packaged and shipped, and it's going to flex and they're going to break through the wrist. The ones that break the most frequently are the high-grade Olympian, medallion stocks that have a lot of figure in them because they're usually weak through the wrist. But this is what you'll end up with if you don't package those well. Now, what I recommend, I tell guys this like every day. Go to the local Walmart or Gander Mountain or Cabela's, whatever you want, and purchase one of these hard plastic cases. They're cheap enough, and they have the egg crate type of foam in them. Put your gun in that and wrap the gun before you put it in that, probably in some bubble wrap so it fits real tight in that case. It's rare that I get a gun damaged in a case like this. They're excellent for shipping. A lot of times these cases this is one here that's set up for a rifle scope. They come in all different configurations. Oftentimes you buy these cases, they come in a box. Just put your gun in that case and slip it all right back in that box. Put a label on it, you're good to go. This right here is a good way to ship a gun. I don't remember hardly ever getting a broken gun in one of these cases. They're cheap to buy and they work quite well. So do that instead of using those soft cases, and then you can avoid this. Now, if you're shipping wood only, I get a lot of wood in by itself. These well, this is the Browning Superpost stock here. Always put something in this receiver to keep it from collapsing. You need to box it good, but in case, you know, they damage it somehow or really beat it up, make you a little block of wood and put it in that receiver there and put some tape around it. That'll keep it from breaking through here. This is real fragile, and if you do that, you'll end up with this. See, this one's been broke through here. They're real fragile in that area. Forearms on Superpose and all, you might get some of this foam. I buy it at Lowe's and places. It's pretty good packing material. And on your forearm, just kind of slip it down in the barrel channel, and that'll protect your forearm. Wrap them good, box them, and you shouldn't have any problems. Now, let me throw some of this junk off the table here. Get rid of it. So I can make room here. I want to show you one of the biggest problems I have here. It's not a problem for me, it's a problem for you guys that ship it this way, because you're going to end up with broken merchandise, beat up merchandise, and then you got to file the claim. If you ship the firearm, then you have to file the claim if there's any damage. Now, I received this gun here just about a week ago. These guns, he's got actually 3 guns in this case. That's getting a little crowded. You can do it and get away with it, but the problem here, and I get this a lot, I've had guys build little special wooden cases for their guns. It looks like little miniature coffins, and they'll put a couple guns in there, and they arrive damaged, and they can't understand how in the world could that happen. Well, what you have to understand, even though this is a very good shipping case, it's a rugged case, if you don't put something between these guns, they're going to shuffle together, because this foam here is just not tight enough to hold them and keep them from shuffling around in these cases. They do it all the time. This man sent this gun in to have some little dings buffed out on top of the stock, which probably would have worked okay, but when he set it in this case, he had it packed. I can show you how it's packed. He had it laying in here like so. And right here in this grip area, you can see the mark of this cap, where this automatic 5 Browning shuffled into that stock and beat it up pretty bad. So now we're into a serious refinish. This is a Browning Satori, by the way. And the forearm was not packed real well either, and it got into something, came into contact with it. I think the trigger guard off this Auto 5 shuffled into it, kind of beat it up. Excuse me. So here we started with a simple cleanup job, buffing up, take a few dings out. Now it's a major refinish. And when the Satori shuffled into the A5, it hit the check ring real good. So now this gun was just coming in, I think, for a cleaning and test firing and that sort of thing. Well, now the check ring's all beat up and destroyed. The only way to fix that, we're going to have to dress all that out and have it recheckered. So expensive. And to top it off, they broke the forearm. Now, that's not necessarily all their fault, because that gun was just not properly packaged. And I see this a lot. I get guns in like this all the time. If you're going to put multiple guns in these hard cases, go down again to Lowe's or somewhere and get some of this foam, and at least get it in between the guns. Kind of take strips of it and cut it and put it between them. Mainly, don't overpack a case. This case was overpacked. 2 guns, you might have gotten away with it. But when you go putting 2 long guns in there, this Browning Auto 5 and this Winchester Model 12, I don't think it did any damage to the Model 12. Kind of a rough old gun anyway. I don't see any damage on it. But anyway, 2 guns in that case would have been plenty. The 3rd gun was just too many. So if you're going to put them in those cases, wad up newspaper real tight and get it between them, or get you some of this foam and put it between the guns. It'll save you a lot of money and heartache. That's one of the biggest problems I have, is guns coming in cases like this and they shuffle together every time. So you need to remember that. Let's see what else we need to talk about here. I think that's another thing. When you ship a complete firearm like this in some kind of a box or what have you, there's a lot of leverage. Your chances of this stock getting broken are pretty good. If at all possible, I always recommend breaking these guns down. If it's a Model 12 like in this case, take it apart and put that in a box, a smaller, shorter box, wrap it good and get something between it so in that box it doesn't shuffle together. Always recommend breaking these down. Same thing with this Browning Automatic 5. Instead of shipping it all in one long piece in a box, you will see when I return them to you, they will always be broke down in a smaller box. Go ahead and pull the barrel off and package them good, separate them good, and put them in a box. It's not a good idea to ship a complete long gun like that, unless it's in one of these hard cases, then you can get away with it. But that's always a good idea to break those down. It makes them easier to ship. Same thing, this Browning Satori here, we didn't get the barrels with it, but if the barrels were shipped with the gun, take it apart, snap the form back into place on the barrels, and then put that in a box and package it well. It's less likely to get damaged. Let me think. Now, I think that's about all the really important things I can tell you about when it comes to shipping. Remember, perfectly legal for you to ship those guns through the mail. You can use those dealers if you want. It's an inconvenience and expense, and you don't have to by law, but if you want to, that's fine. But those are just some pointers to keep in mind when you're mailing and shipping firearms. And if you package them correctly and do it right, they're not likely to get damaged. It's just a matter of just using a little common sense when you box them up and package them. So anyway, that's a few pointers on wrapping and shipping and mailing firearms through the mail, UPS or FedEx.